Hi, this is Paul Rodden and welcome to the Science of Better Results. At the end of this brief presentation, I want to give you 7 steps which you can instantly use to create better results. So the power of thoughts. We have the power to originate thought. Now there's only 2 places of reference we can go here, one's science and one's theology. Scientists will tell us that that is energy that we can convert, and the theologists will say that that's spirit working through us. Whichever belief, faith you hold of the two or a combination, there is no doubt that we have the power to originate thought. So we think in pictures. What does that mean? It means that any thought that we hold turns into an image on the screen of our mind. So if I say picture a glass of fresh orange juice or picture an apple, it's likely images such as this, when you hold the thought, will appear on the screen of your mind. The apples could be green, the glass could be bigger, but anything that's held creates an image. So if we impress and hold an image, what happens? Well, if I said to you, think about your favourite meal for the next 7 days for 24 hours, so every moment of every day, just before you go to sleep, when you wake up, during the day, think about your favourite meal, feel, taste, smell, see it being eaten, just really get involved. What's going to happen? Within those 7 days, I'm virtually certain that you will eat that meal. So how does the favourite meal become a reality? Well, we've impressed the thought, we've thought about it so much. We've believed that we can get it, have it and enjoy it. And emotionally we've got involved. Our desire for that meal has been so high, the taste, the smell, whatever it is about it that we really enjoy. So from as we are to where we want to be in life, then it's just as simple as moving forward towards whatever we want. Well, if that's the case, what stops or slows people down from getting better and better results? So the power of paradigms. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a multitude of ideas expressed as habits that determine performance. These habits have been acquired, they're embedded and even passed on from generation to generation. And most people have absolutely no idea that they're running their lives. A paradigm is definitely not a gimmick. So why are paradigms important? Well, in sport, it's the difference between mediocrity and superstardom. In business, between poverty and wealth. And in individuals, it's between existing and fulfillment. The power of paradigms can be brought to light in a study published in Nature's Neuroscience. Researchers using brain scanners could predict people's decisions 7 seconds before the test subjects were even aware of making them. The co-author of this was John Dylan Haynes at Max Planck Institute. Now, what does that mean? It means that they were asked to respond to either a yes or a no, and 7 seconds before they were consciously aware of it, their subconscious mind had made that decision. The scientists were 7 seconds ahead of that person. They knew that that person's decision 7 seconds before the person consciously had what they thought to be was their choice. So how do paradigms develop? Well, when we're younger, we don't have the ability to accept or reject up until the age of about 6. Why is that important? Well, our environment, anything that we come into contact with, people, places, situations, education, media, and even genetics form a paradigm. We may look like our parents or our grandparents, but all these traits, I can think about friends of mine who have children, and the children even walk like them, or the grandparents. So the environment straight into our minds, the education does. Remember, we can't accept or reject up until about 7 years old. And the genetics are in there. So the paradigms develop along those lines. However, when we become adults, we grow up, then we have an ability to accept or reject information. This is a stick person by Thurman Fleet, and the top half of the picture represents the conscious mind, and the bottom the subconscious mind, and the body being the instrument of the mind. So we can accept or reject. However, a lot of the impression of our early bringing is fixed into our subconscious mind. It goes in the conscious and then into the subconscious. So why is this important? Well, the information that's been downloaded into us from society or people or friends shapes our view of the world. It's how we perceive it. How we view things on the inside is a representation of how we see it on the outside. Remember, environment, media, and education have gone in there. So up to 99% are not even our own thoughts. They've been so impressed that they're entrenched in the subconscious mind. If we can alter, change, develop, update, download some new software, some new ideas, concepts, ideas and strategies, beliefs, our whole world starts to change, and those thoughts start to vanish that have been holding us back. See, thoughts suggested is easy to do. So circumstances and appearances, if we look at what's going on in the world, our world, and our present results, we tend to think that's what we're capable of, and that is not the case. The outside world is brought to us through our senses, so seeing, hearing, touching, taste, and smell. Now, because the inside is looking for certain information and beliefs to conform with what it has, then we'll take meaning out of what we see in alignment with those beliefs and paradigms. And that activates part of the brain called the reticular activating system, which literally means it'll seek out the information that you want or have in your mind. So the power of awareness. So imagine a world where everyone is driving in second gear. To everyone else it looks second gear is perfectly normal. After all, no one else is going any faster. But one day someone comes along and tells you that you've been running at half pace. Wouldn't you feel massively cheated? How fast would you want to learn to get into third, fourth and even fifth gears? What would this increase in performance give you? More money, sales, time, success, relationships, confidence, happiness? Those gear shift changes are available to you. So remember, we can originate thought. Now, most people don't goal set, and if they do it not well in my experience. So I talk about a prime aspiration, which is a true and clearly defined heartfelt one that takes you into ongoing sustainable action, and you're emotionally engaged with it. It's a wonderful thing to have. So it's clearly defined. So we can originate, we have the ability to originate what we want to be, do, have or give in life. And as I say, I call this a prime aspiration. So creating an extraordinary psychology. Remember, whatever is impressed is expressed. So back to Thurman Fleet's picture. Now, within the conscious mind, there's 6 amazing faculties which we can use to change how we perceive the world. Will, reason, perception, imagination, intuition and memory. Most people have heard the words but have no idea the higher faculties that they can engage, command and allow them to produce some remarkable results. Bearing in mind they're emotionally engaged with a prime aspiration or anything that's true and clearly defined. It goes into the conscious and then it goes into the subconscious, and these form your habits. They can form new habits, create new paradigms and determine results, better results. So every person has the natural and inherent power to think what they want to think, but it requires far more effort to do this than it does to think thoughts which are suggested by appearance. To think according to appearance is easy. To think the truth regardless of appearance is laborious, and it requires the expenditure of more power than any of the work a person is called to perform. So what this is saying, this is Wallace Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, is that to hold and impress that thought is the most difficult task, the most laborious work possible. But when you're emotionally engaged, it becomes so much more easy to do this. The truth is any impression that you hold becomes a reality. As James Allen said in his book As a Man Thinketh, we think in secret and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. So we think in secret, no one knows what we're thinking, and it comes to pass, it comes into reality. Whatever's held, environment is but our looking glass. It's a direct mirror of what we have on the inside becomes the outside. So there's no labour from which most people shrink as what they do of consecutive sustained thought. It's the hardest work in the world. This is especially true when the truth is contrary to appearances. So what does that mean? It means that when you've got this idea and notion and concept of prime aspiration, and the world's telling you your results are not in alignment with that, then it becomes really a challenge to maintain that. So every appearance in the visible world tends to produce a corresponding form in the mind which observes it. And this can only be prevented by holding the thought of the truth, and that's that you can realise and impress whatever it is that you want. So notice what you notice about your thinking. So as you are and where you want to be. 525600 is the number of minutes that you and I have who live and breathe for the next 12 months. It's the number of minutes in a year. Now, we can spend those in one of two ways. Through circumstances and appearances, by seeing what is around us and looking at those situations and dealing with what turns up and the problems that come to us in that way. Or we can impress and hold a prime aspiration, a true and clearly defined want, something that we want in life. There's going to be problems. There's no two ways about it. But because our energy is going to be at such a high level and emotionally engaged, we're going to start to think in a solution-based way. As long as we retain a purpose, that's to actually bring it. Our purpose is to bring it about. Faith that we can do it, and gratitude that we've got the opportunity to do it. Then we can start to collapse time and move forward towards creating much better results in a much faster way. So the prime aspiration. We need to study. Study daily is something I would strongly recommend. Now, study can be academic, it can be read, right? But you don't just read the page, you lift the words off the page and see how they apply, how you can pour that information, that knowledge into helping you advance quicker. You can study people, you can study concepts, ideas and strategies. It's not just one way to study audios. And this will raise your awareness, and your awareness means that you start to accelerate your performance. So there's 7 steps to create better results. So a clear image of what you truly desire. When it's articulated and clearly defined, I would call this your prime aspiration. Frequently think of your prime aspiration. Fall in love with it. Remember the first time you fell in love? You didn't need to be told every morning that you woke up that you were in love. It was just something that was really charged into your whole emotional and nervous system. Your purpose is to make it a reality and to be a beneficial presence for others, to help people along the way. The fastest way to reach your goals is to help other people reach theirs. Have absolute faith that you can make it reality. Don't think, oh, I like it, I love it. Just assume the fact that you can do it. Be the impression of increase. Leave people in a better place. Give them anything you have in order to advance them. Fall in love with the idea of helping others. Live in an attitude of gratitude and appreciation. Really be thankful for everything that comes your way that can help you advance towards your outcome. And that's everything. And right now, act as if you are the person that has your prime aspiration. Really step into, just assume, take on, act as if, just be a character actor that you are the person that has that in your life, and do the things and act and think the way that that person is doing. Okay, thank you so much for listening to this. I hope there's some ideas and concepts and strategies that you want to start to implement and take forward. So if you've got any questions, please email me, paul@pra100.com. Or you can visit the website and email me from there. Or you can contact me directly from this page. Once again, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day.